Good evening, you're watching Truthcast UK.
All right, folks, imagine a government that rips up 30 years of laws, abolishes the Supreme Court, scraps quangos and declares British law supreme over international treaties. That's the plan Ben Habib has just laid out with his new party, Advance UK. But here's the twist. Liz Truss, yes, the former Prime Minister with the shortest serving record, now says the same thing. She's called Tony Blair's reforms bad laws that broke Britain. So today we ask, could Britain actually follow this vision, and is there enough support to make it real? Stick with me, because you may just be in for a surprise result. So Habib's blueprint is restoration, not reform. Strip away decades of regulation and bureaucracy, reassert sovereignty, and restore what he calls Britain's constitutional Christian roots. The 4 pillars: nation, freedom, democracy and equality under the law. Let's look at the hard bit first. The Windsor Framework, the deal that replaced the worst of the Northern Ireland Protocol, is a binding international treaty. Yes, Parliament could legislate against it domestically, but that would put Britain in breach of treaty law, and the fallout could be brutal: trade friction, EU retaliation, investor nervousness. So this pillar is legally possible at home, but politically costly abroad. Habib says Britain has become a country where laws restrict speech rather than protect it. Repealing recent speech policing legislation, like online harms and certain hate speech provisions, is straightforward if you have a parliamentary majority. This is one of the easier pillars to deliver if you win big. Now for the big red button: abolishing the Supreme Court. Sounds extreme, right? But it's entirely legal. It was created by the Constitutional Reform Act 2005. Repeal the Act, redesign the system, and you're done. The battle here is political legitimacy, not legal possibility. And this isn't just Ben Habib talking. Liz Truss has been hammering this point too, saying the ancient laws of the British Constitution must be restored. Tony Blair's bad laws broke Britain. She argues Blair's 2005 reforms, scrapping the Lord Chancellor's power, creating the Supreme Court and shifting power to unelected quangos, were a turning point in a 30-year drift away from democracy. So this isn't a fringe idea. Even a former Prime Minister says Britain needs a great restoration bill to undo Blairism. Advance UK simply wants to go further, rolling back not just Blair's legacy, but 3 decades of lawfare and state creep. Habib calls for blind justice. Lady Justice with the blindfold firmly on. That means scrapping progressive discrimination baked into law, overhauling policing priorities and challenging ECHR constraints. Leaving the Human Rights Act or even the ECHR is possible, but would trigger diplomatic chaos. Advance UK says Labour wants to remove bishops from the House of Lords, killing Britain's Christian constitution. Reality check. Labour's top priority has been hereditary peers, though amendments on bishops have been floated. Blair started this constitutional upheaval in 1999 by gutting hereditaries. Truss says that was Blair's first step toward constitutional vandalism. So here's the reality. In Britain's dualist system, Parliament can pass any law, even if it breaches treaties. Domestically, it works. Internationally, it invites retaliation. A government following Habib's plan either renegotiates treaties or embraces the chaos. Yes, domestically, statute repeal, court abolition, regulator cuts, all doable with a solid majority. But internationally, well, that's a high-stakes game. You'd need either renegotiation or a public mandate big enough to justify the turbulence. Will Ben get backing for his vision? Advance UK claims over 22,000 members already and aiming for 30,000 before registering with the Electoral Commission. National polls rarely list Advance UK yet, meaning support is unknown, not absent. Elon Musk reportedly urged Habib to launch the party, giving it early buzz. So right now, Advance is organised but untested, no polling presence, no ballot box proof. So what would it take? A defining issue like Brexit in 2016 that crystallises discontent, a majority or coalition willing to legislate hard. A treaty and ECHR strategy that explains costs up front. So what do you think? Could Britain really rip up 30 years of Blairite laws, or is this restoration dream just too radical to fly? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see how many of you would back a party like Advance UK. And if you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and share this with someone who thinks Britain's political system is beyond saving. That's it, folks. Take care, and I'll catch you all on the next one.